Hey everybody, Ron Stone here. Just want to welcome everyone to Outlawed Live with Ron Stone on Tuesday nights. We're live on Facebook on the Outlaw page as well as Beer Money Pulling Team and several other pages out there on Facebook. Might be joined a little bit later with Josh Runyon. I'm on the road right now. Just pulled over here to try to get a good signal here. Try to get the show in here tonight, using my cell phone as a hotspot. So, going to be talking to Pro Stock 4-wheel drive puller tonight, a young gun, 24-year-old Evan Breheim out of Sedalia, Missouri, Chevrolet pickup called Fully Committed. He pulls in the Pro Stock class. He'll be pulling with the Outlaws in 2022. Now, Evan's dad, Nathan Breheim, already pulls with the Outlaws. He has an orange and white Chevrolet pickup. Pretty stout machine that he pulls with the Outlaws as well. So father-son team will be campaigning 2 trucks this season. They're going to come on here in a few minutes. Apologize for not having any video. I was unable to produce any video here while I'm on the road. If you're tuning in tonight, tell us where you're tuning in from. If you have any questions, go ahead and fire those questions off, and we'll try to get them answered for you, whether it has to do with the Outlaw season or any questions you have for our guests coming up here tonight. And once again, that's Evan Breheim, another young gun with the Outlaws. Where are y'all tuning in from tonight? I myself right now am in the state of Indiana. So actually pulling a Studebaker pickup on the trailer behind me. Let's see if I can get you see that 47 Studebaker on the trailer behind me there. Taking it to my dad in Ohio. So I'll be deadheading on the way back. Your trailer will be empty if anybody needs anything from Ohio or Indiana, Illinois. I'll be deadheading on the way back with an empty trailer. So Kaylee Tuma checking in from Ashton, Nebraska. I've been to Ashton. Actually announced a Nebraska Bush show there 4 years ago this summer. If you're tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. Hopefully the signal will hold up. I'm using my phone as a hotspot. And I think we can get a whole hour in on my computer's battery here. We'll see. It looks like it's going to run out of juice. We may cut the show a little bit short. So once again, yep, there we've got our guests coming in now. Right on time. It's coming in now. Right on time. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
On time. You may want to turn the volume down on your.
Good, how are you?
Something, I hear a delay there somewhere.
Good, how are you?
If you have somebody that's watching on Facebook or something, there's probably going to be a delay.
Muted on that screen.
On this one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Evan and Nathan Breheim. Evan, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. Good. Just on a little road trip here, heading for Ohio. Pulling an old Studebaker pickup we bought out of Iowa, taking it back to my dad in Ohio. So if you guys need parts or anything from Ohio, I've got an empty trailer. I'll be coming back.
I think we're good for now.
So if you need anything. Nathan, are you on there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, how are you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good. Now, Evan is your son, right?
Yeah, he is.
24 years old?
Yep.
And how long? Now, Evan, this is not your first season of pulling. How long have you been pulling?
Well, I've had probably 4 seasons, I think. But yeah, I didn't pull last year because we didn't have an engine for our truck, but hopefully this year we'll be ready.
Okay. You pulled predominantly with what organizations in the past?
Yeah.
With Mid-Missouri, I'm assuming, and Missouri State, maybe?
Yep, that's who we were with before, and
Okay.
now we're gonna stick with the Outlaws most of the time.
Okay. Well, it's a busy season to be starting out your first year with the Outlaws. A lot of hooks this year. What kind of motor you got in that thing? You said you've got a new motor for it.
Well, I think Dad's taking the new one, and I'm getting his from last year.
Ah, okay.
So we'll see if he still wants that one. I'm sure once I start beating him, he'll want it back.
You guys switched to Sonny Leonard power plants.
Yes, we
season.
did.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, this I don't have the schedule in front of me. Nathan, you could probably tell me how many hooks your class has this year.
I think it's 24.
24.
Yeah.
What how many hooks do you get on a motor before you start worrying about its durability?
Most of the time about 35.
And that's because of rods?
I guess rods. I mean, it could be anything.
Valve train takes a good beating too.
Yeah.
How many RPMs are you guys turning? Speaking of valve train,
Usually we're turning at least over 95.
9,500. Yeah, that'll beat on a valve train pretty good, I think. So, how long have you guys been pulling? And when I say that, I'm kind of directing that question at Nathan. When did you start pulling? When did you get the bug?
Oh, we started in 2014.
Oh, okay.
And I guess it's been what, 7 years now.
So you said you started in 14. Did you just went to a local tractor pull and you caught the bug, or it was something you just always wanted to do and you finally did it in 14?
Well, a friend, we just started going with a friend, and we just kind of got the bug and bought a truck. We bought Chad Mears's Bad News truck.
Okay.
But it has changed a lot, in the last 2 years.
Yeah. When we talk about getting hooked, I mean, there's no way to describe that feeling when you hear that hook drop in the hole on your truck. You pull forward and you tighten that chain up. I mean, once you pulled one time, I mean, it gets in your blood. I mean, am I right?
Yeah, it's the same thrill every time. As soon as it gets taut and you feel it, it's the same thrill every time.
Yeah.
So, Evan, your first hook was 4 years ago. Where was your first hook at?
Tipton, Missouri, when my truck was a Super Street truck then.
Super Street. Okay.
Yeah, it had cast iron heads, OEM intake, and leaf springs in the rear yet. It had less than 1 ton drive line. And now
that's not Pro Street, right? Pro Street is
no, it's one under from that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. A Pro Street, you can't run a weight rack. Were you able to run a weight bar?
No, we just had an OEM bumper, and we still had to have leaf springs in the rear and less than 1 ton drive line. We still had the Muncie in it, transfer case. Once I started breaking that stuff pretty often is why we switched to the Pro Stock.
Right. So what kind of horsepower are you guys making? I always ask that question. I rarely get it answered.
Plenty. Oh, not enough, I guess.
Yeah.
So, well, this season, with all those hooks, I mean, how many hooks do you guys plan on making this year?
Oh, we plan on making them all.
I might not be able to make every single one due to our, working on the farm and stuff, but Dad's going to try to make them all.
Okay. I mean, are you going to bring both trucks if Evan can't make it, Nathan?
Well, yeah, we're going to try. I might have my younger son come with and run it if he can.
Okay. So what? And I'll ask you both this question. And Evan, you're liable to have a high point in the last 4 years. The most memorable win that both of you have had in either truck. in your years of pulling?
Well, I think the only time that I actually won was when Dad let me drive his truck at Owensville. Was that 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I think it was 3 years ago. And I won there. But other than that, I haven't got a win yet with my truck in the pro stock class.
Okay. Nathan, how about you?
Oh, my biggest win was Jay Steger had a pro stock invitational in Warrington, and it was a bracket pull.
Yep.
And I won that one.
Yeah,
I remember that.
3 times I think we went.
You had to hook 3 times to win it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty neat deal. I actually set one of those up for a promoter down in South Haven, Kansas. I think that was 17 or 18. It got rained out. I think you were signed up, Nathan, actually.
Yeah, it was.
We had that set up the same way, basically, where it was a ladder or bracket style, and you'd had to hook 3 times to win it. The neat thing about that bracket style is you pull in small groups, and the track stays pretty much the same within those small groups of trucks. It doesn't change much. So it's compared to a class of 20 plus, the track is a lot different from that first puller to the 21st or 22nd puller.
Yeah, it definitely changes a lot especially during the day. It changes a lot.
Yeah.
Usually for the worst in the middle of the day. In my experience, at night it usually gets better, but there are exceptions.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's the story on your truck, Evan? I mean, where'd this truck come from?
Well, we got it from a guy out of Eldon. Actually, when I wanted to start getting into it, it was for sale. At that time, it was a complete Super Street truck, and I ran it the next season after we bought it. And then a lot's changed since then.
Okay. Any pull this season you guys look forward to more than any other on the outlaw circuit?
Well, I'm just ready to get going.
You're ready to go.
It's all brand new again. I redid it 2 winters ago because we were going to be ready to have an engine, but the engine never came. So now it's going to be fresh. So hopefully it does all right on the first couple.
Nathan, you mentioned your younger son. How old is he?
He's 21.
21. Okay.
Yep.
So another young gun in the making there. Is there going to be a third truck, or Nathan, are you going to lose your seat?
I don't think he'll ever get out of it.
That's something I joke about, when I'm announcing pulls, whenever someone lets their son or their daughter hook their tractor, and so that's just a way for them to have an excuse to build another tractor or another truck. So you could try that, Nathan.
Yeah, we'll probably just have the 2 trucks. It's a lot of work the way it is.
Yeah, 2 is a lot.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a lot of work. If anybody has any questions for Nathan or Evan Breheim, Pro Stock 4-wheel drive pickup pullers with the Outlaws, go ahead and type your questions in. We'll put them up on the screen. No questions yet tonight, just some comments. Jamie Clifton hanging out in the shop with the bipolar truck in Green City, Missouri. There's some pretty tough competition for you guys.
Yes, it is.
They're all good trucks in the organization. You never know who's going to come out on top.
That's absolutely true. And so many pro stock pickups coming out of where you guys live, the state of Missouri. It's unbelievable how many of those trucks there are in the Show Me State. Lisa Joe Stock says Bob let her drive last year. Now she's not giving up the seat, so Bob's going to have to figure out what he's going to do. So anybody that is on your radar that you think is the toughest competition that you'll have to deal with in 2022?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard telling because every year it's different. It seems like. I mean, everybody ups their game so much from pole to pole. I mean, you just never know what it's going to be like.
Exactly.
Bill Schraby's asking, what is the brand of tire that you run?
Most of the time, BFGs, and we'll try different tires on the front just to try them more aggressive or whatnot. But different dirt out west, so we got to try different things.
Yeah. The BF Goodrich is pretty much standard in that class. It's something, it's hard to explain to somebody who hasn't been around pulling, because they think the gnarliest mud tire you can put on it is the way to go, and of course, we know that that's not the case. It simply digs in and throws too much dirt, and you want to try to stay up on top as much as you can and grab a hold of it, kind of like a slick, if you will, in drag racing. I mean, before the slick was invented for drag racing, nobody probably would have ever thought that a slick tire would have worked great on asphalt. And I think that's kind of the same thinking on, just an all-terrain tire as opposed to a mud tire or a super swamper on there. You guys ever run the Truxus or Traxxas STSs on your trucks?
We did, but they don't seem to hold up very well. You're not going to get a whole lot unless if you get a track where you're going to spin on them, you're going to fry them up pretty good because it seems like they're real soft. But some guys have good luck with them.
Yeah, you still see them from time to time out there. Not as much, I think, as we saw them probably 10 years ago. But, you still see them every once in a while. And usually you'll see them, I think, on the back is where I see them the most. You'll see the BFGs on the front. Is that what you guys have noticed as well?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it seems like a lot of people are leaning away from them. But, yeah, everybody has their different ways of, where they want to put it or what the track is like. Sometimes they'll switch them just for the track.
Lisa Jostock's asking, the furthest you've ever traveled to a pull, and then the closest.
Oh gosh.
What would that be?
Gibbon, Nebraska, I think, is the farthest we would have went.
This year, I guess it would be Colorado if that pull goes on.
Yeah, it's going. And, is Gibbon farther than Ravenna? I don't remember. Or is Ravenna farther?
I thought it was, but if I remember right, but I don't know.
And then the closest is in this, 20 minutes in Sedalia from our house. It's our hometown pole, I guess you could say.
Be State Fair.
Yeah, State Fair.
Okay. Yeah, you guys live right there in Sedalia, or close to Sedalia, I assume, not right in Sedalia.
Yeah.
You guys, what do you do for a living?
Oh, we raise hogs and we have cattle.
Okay. I used to live not too far from it. I used to live down in Warrensburg down there, so
yeah,
for a little while. But Sedalia quite a bit. So the truck that you're driving right now, Nathan, is that the truck you started in? You start with something different.
Yes, it is the truck I started in, but it has been totally redone. I ran it. It was the Bad News truck from Chad Mears. I ran that chassis for 2 years, and then I redone the whole thing the third year. And it has a new chassis and different front clip. The only thing original probably is the front end and the bed sides.
Yeah, your truck is actually the old super modified.
I think so. I'm not. Don't quote me on it, but that's what I think it is. Chad would know more about that.
He's told me that story a couple times, but I can't remember all the details of it. But it seemed like Yeah, your truck. He kept the name with his, but the actual truck, I think, is yours. And that used to be a super modified 4-wheel drive. Had a 170-inch wheelbase. Have you seen the pictures of that?
Yeah, yes, I have. Yeah.
Wasn't it blue, I think?
Blue and white.
Yep.
And when I was sanding the bedsides, there was blue paint, under his red paint.
Okay.
So I think that's what it was, but I know Chad would know more.
It had a blower motor in it, and of course the big T-Pex. Bob Strong out of Atchison, Kansas, had that truck. Yeah, I've got the Pulling Power magazine that has a spread of that truck in it. It was a pretty neat looking truck.
Yeah.
But when you said you pretty much redone the whole truck, I mean, what does that entail when you say you redid the truck? I mean, complete chassis changes, suspension changes.
Yeah, it had the old 1970 frame, which I changed it to a 1979 frame, and we redone the weight box and a lot of other things too. Added a reverser and bell housing. We changed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it was a complete frame off on his, and we did mine, a couple winters ago. So we did all the work to them. Both had frame off work and everything.
And Evans is actually almost identical frame or chassis as mine. So we're hoping it'll hook as good as my truck does.
Yeah, we tried mirroring it the closest we could with everything. It's measurements are a little bit different, but it's pretty close.
Okay. Bill Schraby has a question here. He may not get an answer for that one. He's curious how many horsepower per cylinder.
Not enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see, Matt Brown, he's pulling first year in the 2.6 class and never even hooked a sled. Good luck, man.
You just gotta get past the first one. The first one's the most nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Even now on a brand new engine build, it's always the worst. The first one of the season.
Yeah.
Now you guys have yours completely built at Sonny Leonard, right?
Yeah. Now they are.
Yeah, they're two brand new engines. They've basically completely redone them.
Had you ever rebuilt or built your own engines before?
No, we haven't.
Not high performance engines. Like we'll do diesel, engines and tractors, but we don't do the high horsepower ones.
Yeah, the clearances are too close.
When I was pulling my truck and I would pull that chain tight and the green flag would come up, all of a sudden these thoughts of, did I get those rod bolts torqued right? You start second guessing all the stuff you did in the motor if you do the motor work yourself.
Yeah, you always get them thoughts, even when you put the engine in and you getting going and everything. You just hope you got everything tight.
Yeah,
there's a lot. I mean, you can overlook.
Absolutely. Where do you guys see yourselves 10 years from now? Are you going to stick with the pro stock class? You see yourselves, sticking with pulling, or you see any changes in the future?
No, I would think that would still be in the pro stock class. I mean, it's got good people in it, and we like the trucks, so yeah, we'll probably be with it. I'd always like to have a diesel in the future, but we might just stick with the gas trucks.
I know that in the off season that we some things were brought up about the proposed rule changes, like 35-inch tires. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Would you guys be interested in changing to a bigger tire or sticking with the 33s?
Well, I don't know. That's just, we'd have to buy, 2 sets of everything for us, and then as long as you could get the other organizations in the state to follow,
Right.
just in case if you want to pull somewhere else one weekend that there's not a pull somewhere. Otherwise, you're changing everything, and your truck might be different with them.
Right.
Yeah, it would make it tougher. I mean, not only if you want to go pull with another organization, you're talking not only a tire change but gear change as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Right.
Switch to back to those smaller tires. But I've seen that kicked around, a couple times, and probably, in Missouri and in the Midwest, probably there was more talk about it last fall than I've seen in a while. But did anybody change to that? Do you know, as far as organizations in Missouri?
Not that I know of.
Okay. I mean, it's a good thing that organizations can stay at least close on the rules, so you can go pull with another group, or the hometown pull when those kind of things come up. That I know that Outlaw did have a hitch angle rule that was a little different up until last season or season before. I can't remember when we changed that, but makes it a little difficult to have to make your truck fit several different sets of rules. And of course, you guys have pulled with Mid-Missouri and Missouri State. Any other organizations you guys have pulled with?
Pulled with Southern Missouri a few times.
Yep.
Okay. That's Alan Box pulls pretty much predominantly with him, doesn't he? The old Yeller truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Southern Missouri. So, how about your younger brother Evan? Has he ever hooked?
He drove it when it was a super street a few times.
He drove Pro Stock.
I guess he drove it at a Pro Stock once.
Yeah, at state when Outlaws, I think it was the last time Outlaws was at Missouri State Fair. He hooked there.
Oh, he must have been, what, 16, 17 then? Something like
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So is he chomping at the bit to pull?
Well, it's not really his thing. He likes to do it, but he's not into it as much as we are.
Yeah. Okay. How about Mom? Has Mom ever got behind the wheel?
No, but she needs to.
We keep telling her to get in there. We'll put a passenger seat in for her, but she won't even do that.
Yeah, tell her thanks for the videos, but I couldn't get them to work here in my mobile studio here. I couldn't get them to work, so Mama says no. I'm trying to catch some of the Lisa's got a lot of questions here. What pull that isn't on your schedule that you would want to hook at any time?
We'll be at the Missouri State Fair. I don't think that's an outlaw pull,
Right.
but other than that, I don't know. We might. There's a benefit pull and fair with Southern Missouri that we like to go to. That's at the end of the season.
That'd be the last pull of the year.
Yeah.
Like September or October thing.
Yeah, first weekend in October, I believe.
There's a lot of hooks with the Outlaws, so we're going to try to stick with them as much as we can.
Lori Martin chimed in, says, "Go Billy Joe."
Yeah, that'd be my sister.
Yeah, we got several comments here. Some not necessarily have to do with pro stocks, but use the DT4's big turbos. Check the gallons. Yep. Got to have water injection key for melting the pistons in those classes. Is that a future puller I hear in the background there?
Yeah, that'd be my son. He's all wound up in the room.
How old is he?
Oh, he's like 1.5 now, I guess.
Okay. Okay, so 2 or 3 more years he'll be pulling garden tractors, right?
Yeah.
Get him started early. So what would you have any advice for anybody that's getting into pulling? I mean, you guys have been pulling for a little while now. I mean, anybody that like this young man here, the 2.6 class, had just starting out. I mean, any advice you guys could give to a budding puller?
Well, I don't know. Just try not to stress about it too much and just go out there and have fun. Some people, they just get so wound up about it at the pulls, worried about so much, and you're just there to have fun. So just kick back and just do it.
You guys ever get stressed out and just feel like quitting?
Well, probably the last time that happened was a few years ago when we had engine trouble. We pulled Dad's engine out probably 4 times.
Yeah, that was a little stressful.
Yeah.
I bet.
I was ready to quit then.
But since then, it's been pretty good.
Well, hopefully your new engine combinations will be failure free all season.
Yeah, they should be good.
Yeah, we're pretty confident.
Are you guys hauling in the same trailer then this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuel, you guys running Q16?
Yeah.
Fuel in your, what is that a gallon now? Just curious.
Oh, I don't even know.
We haven't even bought any. We have left over from last year. I'm guessing it's heck, it was 13 a gallon when I bought it, so
it's probably gonna be.
It's got to be more than that now.
Yeah, 18, 20. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I would assume so. That's not too bad. It's been quite a few years since I've pulled, and it was about 15 a gallon whenever I was buying it. But good fuel, 21 a gallon. Patrick Simon says.
Yeah, it's probably what it is.
It sounds about right.
Luckily, we got a full barrel and a partial, so we should be able to get through the season.
Yeah, just throwing his comments up here. Hey, Josh Reed, how are you, buddy? I seen you're signed up to go to Colorado. That's going to be a fun pull. I'm glad you guys are headed out there. That's drawing some people from all over the country and Canada. Could be a destination event here. They're doing a lot of things to make that a destination type pull. So I know it's out there a little ways, but it should be worth it. So Evan, when you pull, when you go, do you take the whole family? I know you're talking about your son there, your young son in the background. Does everybody go?
Yeah, usually they tag along. Dad bought a camper, so I'll follow him with that, and we'll stay in that at the 2-day pulls and stuff. So we all got somewhere to stay. Okay. They like doing it, so that makes it easy on me.
Here's a question for you. Bill Schraby says, when you see a pro stock start pulling, sometimes the truck will start jumping up and down. Of course, he says most of the time they break, which, yeah. What causes one to jump up and down?
Oh, that could be, it could be a clutch problem, or your frame's too loose, or I don't know, or your front end. There's a lot of factors that could go into it.
Yeah. Suspension, tire pressure.
Yeah.
Clutch. Yeah, I know my pickup, whenever I was pulling, what cured my bounce for the most part was limiting the travel on the front suspension.
Yeah, that's it. The less lift you get is probably the best. You don't want too little, but you don't want too much. You still want the truck to load back, but you don't want it to come up too high because then you're losing your hitch height.
You guys are making a lot more horsepower than I did. I was making just over 700 with a small block. You guys are, I'm assuming, are in the 1200 some range. And you don't have to answer that. I'm just, I'm speculating like normal.
You're close, Ron.
It seems like everybody in that class now, they all got pretty close to the same power now. It seems like because it's all pretty tight and everybody runs real good.
Let's see. Josh Reed says could be trying to outrun the sled running too big a gear can cause a hop. Robbie Lesmeister says gear. Josh, they're going to try to make out to Colorado without crashing. I know they almost didn't make Cowtown because they got in the run off the road on their way there from Tennessee.
Yeah, you might blow over going to Colorado, how the winds are out west.
It's been pretty windy on my little drive through Iowa here today when I came through Iowa, but it's kind of chilled out a little bit as I got into Illinois and Indiana. So, we started this young gun program, and of course, Evan, you fit in there as a young gun. One reason we started that program was trying to reach out to the younger pullers and in some cases, some of the kids that weren't even pullers at the time, and now they are, or some of them are starting their first season, pulling. And I always ask this question, and you may not have an answer for it, but I always like to pick people's brains and see what do you see that's missing in pulling that we could possibly make it more appealing to the youth, or how we can reach out to the youth and get them more involved with pulling.
Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one. I mean, a big thing, is just the cost of getting started. Getting into it it costs a lot getting into it. I would think that's probably what keeping some younger people away. It's a fun thing to do and everything, but just getting into it is just the hard part, I would assume.
Yeah, definitely the costs. And there are organizations that, pull street type classes. Of course, safety is still of concern. A lot of that safety stuff is expensive as well, but you got to have it.
Yeah.
I've seen accidents happen where, guys didn't want to pay for certain things, say like clutch cans and things like that. And they were, that thought that that'll never happen, to me. And then it happened. They're like, oh, and then not necessarily anybody got hurt, but that can happen. But, I've seen a guy destroy a block and a transmission and, destroyed the hood on his truck, actually, having a clutch explosion. But got to have all that safety equipment, and that stuff's expensive. And so, yeah, getting started is, and it helps having a team, if you're not doing it by yourself. I'm sure you guys.
Yeah, that definitely makes it a lot easier when you have help.
But, well, guys, I won't keep you any longer, but I just want to ask if there's anybody you'd like to thank, if you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and they might be watching.
Oh, I guess we'll thank Sonny Leonard for the engines and things.
Other than that,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe Billy Joe for keeping up with all the media part of it. Maybe.
Yeah, and it's her birthday tomorrow, so.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
I think she likes doing this more than we do.
Yeah.
I think we could tell that by the posts and stuff. She puts.
Which that makes it easy too. When we need something, it's just go ahead.
When you need something like a new engine or something like that, she's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on tonight, taking the time out with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you in June.
See you then.
All right, the Breheims on tonight. Be campaigning 2 trucks with the Outlaws this season in the Pro Stock 4-wheel drive class. First hook is the second weekend of June in Ravenna, Nebraska. Said if you can't make it out to that event, you can watch it live at outlawpulling.tv. You can find that full schedule not only on the website, outlawpulling.com. You can also find that full schedule on the Outlaw Pulling app. Go to the Google Play Store and download the Outlaw Pulling app as soon as possible. You will love the Outlaw Pulling app, whether you're a puller or a fan, where you can keep up with the Outlaws, keep up with results at each event in real time. The Outlaw Pulling app. Also check us out on our Facebook page. Going to keep it short and sweet tonight, since I am in the mobile studio here, rolling across the state of Indiana here. But I'll be back in the studio next week for another live edition of Outlaw. So, this is Ron Stone saying good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week at 7. Good night.